Hello and welcome to this video about Egypt's social pyramid. Let's time travel back to ancient Egypt from the 4th to the 1st millennium before Christ. As you may have guessed from the title, the domain of society we will be looking at is social. The questions we will be asking in this video are: what social groups could be found in Egyptian society? What were the tasks of each group? Who was the most powerful? How did this power emerge? In order to make full use of the advantages of the river Nile, Egyptians had to cooperate in big groups to build and maintain dikes and canals. To organize all of this, they needed a leader. For a period of 3,000 years, Egypt was ruled most of the time by kings or pharaohs. They ruled their kingdom with unlimited power. The pharaoh was also the most important priest. As such, he prayed to the gods for help. After a while, his subjects started honoring the pharaoh as a god. On earth, he was placed on the same footing as the falcon-headed god Horus. After his death, the pharaoh was treated in the same way as Osiris, the god of the dead. As god-king, the pharaoh owned all of Egypt. So every Egyptian lived and worked on the pharaoh's lands and had to pay taxes to the pharaoh. Outside the flooding season, the pharaoh also ordered the farmers to help in building temples, tombs, or to help in the mines. But the pharaoh also had duties. As a god, he had to take care of his people, so people expected protection from him, as well as controlling the irrigation system and building up food stocks. Of course, the pharaoh could not rule the country all by himself. A large number of assistants carried out his orders. At the top were the vizier, the high priests, and the commander of the army. The vizier was responsible for the government, taxation, and justice. The high priests performed the daily worship of the gods in the temples. Because they controlled the property of the gods, such as lands and stocks, the high priests had a lot of power. The commander of the army not only defended the borders, but also oversaw the big building projects. The nobles formed another important group. They lived at court or ruled over one of the provinces as a governor. Egypt also had many civil servants. They carried out the tasks that had to do with managing the flooding of the Nile. The civil servants gave the orders to dig ditches, to build dikes, to repair floodgates, and to control the irrigation system. If the civil servants did their jobs well, there was enough food for everyone. They were paid with taxes. But because the Egyptians were not yet familiar with money, they were paid in goods: wheat, honey, papyrus, cattle, etc. All these goods had to be picked up, registered, and stored. This required an extensive administration, and therefore also many civil servants. Only a minority of the population was able to read and write. Hence, the function of scribe was held in high regard. Despite their simple tools, Egyptian craftsmen were able to make beautiful products. They were masters in working with wood, for example, sarcophagi, furniture, etc. Stone, for example, pyramids, sculptures, etc. And metal, for example, gold for jewelry. Yet we do not know any name of these countless artists, because they did not sign their work. For Egyptian farmers, life wasn't easy. They worked the lands, planted wheat or flax, and took part in the irrigation works. They produced enough food not only for themselves but also for everyone else, nobles, civil servants, craftsmen, etc. The farmers thus formed the basis of Egyptian wealth. Even so, farmers were at the bottom of the social pyramid. Only the slaves had it worse. Slaves were usually prisoners of war or descendants of prisoners of war. They worked the lands together with the farmers, helped in the big building projects, or worked in the mines. Here you can see the complete social pyramid of ancient Egypt. Well, that was all for now. Thanks for watching.